Hi Kiwi, and welcome back to another episode of Hades 1. And today we are going to be taking the aspect of Zagreus on the Twin Fists. We are going to be taking Ruthless Reflex, and we're going to be stacking as much dash chance as we can by taking the Lambent Plume. And we're going to see if that can carry us through 32 heat. Ruthless Reflex on 32 heat, not fun on any aspect weapon other than Gilgamesh. It's just that extra dash matters so much. So this is going to be a little rough. I'm going to be taking 1 level of hard labor, 2 levels of lasting consequences, maxing out convenience fee, jury summons, 3 levels of extreme measures, maxing out benefits package, middle management, underworld's custom, 1 level of forced overtime, 2 levels of damage control, and 2 levels of tight deadline for a total of 32 heat. Now I am questioning if maybe I should just go for that max level forced overtime instead of lasting consequences. Honestly, I'm probably going to take more damage as a result of hard labor and lasting consequences than anything else. So this is going to be our 32 heat run. We'll give up hard labor and lasting consequences and take maxed out forced overtime instead. We'll see how it goes. Hopefully, we're going to be depending on Ruthless Reflex carrying us a little bit here.
Immortal, boy, but in a manner you can die, as you now understand. A most unpleasant feeling, is it not?
We're going to want to see most of all either Dionysus or Zeus on the attack. That'll give us the attack speed we need, so I'm hopeful we'll see one of those two gods. And we got Dionysus. Excellent. Okay. Give us a good attack, bud.
Here's a toast to your success, so clink. Cheers and all that.
Yeah, I could probably make Demeter work. I could probably make Athena work. Aphrodite's not bad, but Dionysus and Zeus are hands down the best gods for the aspect weapon now, or for the gauntlets as a whole, I would argue. Unfortunately, we are not offered his attack, so I will have to reroll here.
Thanks.
And we get it, and an epic attack. So I have God's Pride on this run because I'm not hunting for duos, but now that we are locked into a Dionysus build, I kind of am. I would love to see Curse of Nausea and Curse of, what is it? I'm forgetting his duo with Aphrodite, but certainly Dionysus scales pretty darn well on the gauntlets because you can stack up the hangover stacks fairly quickly. So this should carry us at least through early Tartarus, and hopefully we get some good boons from there. Artemis, really not bad. Getting Splitting Headache would be awesome. I wouldn't mind getting Artemis. Probably, what would I prefer Artemis on? Definitely not the dash, because that won't set us up for Splitting Headache. So it's got to be either her cast, which is not great, or her, oh gosh, witches. Hold on one second. Damage control witches with attack speed, move speed. Not the best, but definitely more manageable than if they were cloners, so I guess I can't complain too much.
Of hunting are not easy to communicate, though you're learning from experience at least.
All right, so of her boons, let's see. Aphrodite, we need to apply weak on, so I probably take Passion Dash. So we'll go for Artemis's special here, I think. That'll set us up for Splitting Headache fairly early on, which is not a bad boon to have. Athena showing up for the dash as an alternative, I can deal with that. And I mean, Crush Shot is not a good cast in terms of how you use it. But since we're going to be constantly in melee distance, it's not the end of the world. I honestly think I lock in Athena here, because we're going to need some survivability, and nothing gives you more survivability than Athena on a high heat run. So yeah, we'll definitely go that route. Now, again, the lack of dash, not only do you feel it for the lack of evasion tools, you really feel it for just overall speed because you lose a lot of mobility, and especially once you get to Asphodel and Elysium, mostly Asphodel, that mobility is missed.
I'm pleased to see your father's stubbornness is manifest in you as such determination, Zagreus. My blessing be with you.
Alrighty, let us see. Divine Dash, perfect. Alright, Athena's actually offering us what we want for a change, thank you. Coin or 5 HP? I think I'll take the coin here because we do want to try and set ourselves up for a mid-shop purchase if we can. Without a coin chamber, it's unlikely to happen. So the scariest thing about this weapon is armored enemies. We're going to be very hopeful to see, I think it's called Breaching Cross maybe, but it is the boon that, or the hammer perk that makes it so your attacks, or your dash attacks specifically, do a ton more damage. It's 900% more damage to armored enemies. I don't really need that HP yet. We'll move along. We'll take the palm here and get that on the attack, and that'll give us an extra probably 2 points of damage per second. Yeah, so now we're dealing, what, 8 times 5 is 40, so 80 damage per second with Hangover. Not bad. We'll definitely want to scale that up more if we can. I can't afford the mid shop, but being mindful of tight deadline, honestly, we're making pretty good time through Tartarus, so I'll take the palm here. The extra encounter means a risk of taking damage, of course, but I think the risk is worth the kind of scaling into later game. And since we don't have lasting consequences or hard labor, a couple hits here or there are not going to be the end of the world. What is the end of the world are if we get any really bad witch chambers. Granted, I think I can manage them fairly well. Ruthless Reflex will give us a lot of chance to not get hit, even if I do get hit, because 50% dodge chance just for having a near miss is a lot more than you think it is. It adds up very quickly, and with good Hermes boons,
delicious.
We will hopefully see exactly what we want by the end of this run. All right, we're up to 90 damage per second, and there's Ares to round out our god pool. Ares is honestly the easier of the two gods to apply. Now I don't have to worry about building around Athena's, building around Aphrodite rather, because Aphrodite is a bit of a pain to apply a weak on, although it does mean we don't have the best way of applying status privilege. That said, I'm pretty sure I took family favorite for this run, so that's fine too.
Start another of our famous killing sprees, my kin.
Oh, you know it. All right, let's see. Slicing Shot, Curse of Vengeance, Battle Rage. Battle Rage isn't really good on Zag aspect because we attack too fast. One enhanced attack doesn't add up to that much. This is really good on Guan Yu's special and Hestia's attack, for example. Arthur would work well with it. Let's see. I do need a core boon of Ares to be able to get Curse of Nausea, but I'm pretty sure Curse of Vengeance actually counts for that. Let me double check that, but I'm pretty sure that is the case. Curse of Nausea, Curse of Vengeance. So we need either his special, his attack, or his Vengeance boon. So this is actually perfect for us. Excellent. And then HP, not a bad option, but the coin from Sisyphus guarantees we can buy a boon in the shop. So I'm going to go that route.
How about a little bit of help as you keep on your journey, Prince?
It is rare that we make it out of Tartarus with our full 4 gods, but here we are, 4 gods in.
Cheers, mate. Don't know why I keep doing this, Boldy, yet here we are.
You know exactly why you do this, Zagreus. Boldy is a good friend and deserves all the treats that he can afford. I do wonder what Boldy does with all the ambrosia. Nectar. Unfortunately, we do not get a benefit from Boldy that directly helps our build. We're not going to really be playing around the special at all this run. But seeing an early hammer in Tartarus, can't complain about that, that's for sure. So we're gonna, again, ideally see Breaching Cross. Long Knuckle is phenomenal too. I just hope I don't get locked into a set of hammers that only benefit the special, because I'm really not trying to build around the special. Sure, I can make an argument I have Artemis's special, which means it could do really good for us. I don't see it doing really well for us. Let's see what we get. Concentrated Knuckle, actually not bad there. Alternatively, Colossus Knuckle could keep us damage reduction isn't bad. Explosive upper is completely off the table. I think objectively speaking, Concentrated Knuckle does a whole lot of damage. +5 base damage is insanely good. Especially once you get some percentage modifiers. Like if we get a decent Chaos attack boon, that does so much for us. It's very good damage. And the nice thing is, again, with Athena's dash, I can pretty reliably deal with ranged enemies now. The witches throughout the entire run can be a bit of a nightmare if they get piled up too many at once or in one room. I mean, you've seen me struggle with them a number of times, I'm sure, Kiwi. But like, yeah, look at that. Like, Concentrated Knuckle makes up for the lack of armor pen because we just or armor penetrating kind of boons, or not boons, but you know. Basically, not having Breaching Cross here doesn't feel as bad because the Concentrated Knuckle just feels really good to use, honestly. It does so much damage. As far as what we want next, we want 2 boons from Hermes in particular, like if we're going with this dodge chance gimmick. Oh, I think I lost my chance at Lambent Plume here. That was a really long chamber. Unfortunate. What do we got here? HP restore. I only have 6 damage. There's no point in taking that. And a coin room means we're going to be affording god boons for the next couple shops. That's pretty nice for us. I guess I forgot that I do need to be mindful of Lambent Plume, but chambers like that just don't necessarily make it easy for us, frankly. If they're not going to give us easy to manage, or if Jury Summons is just really unkind and we get these sort of rooms where enemies are super spread out and spawning in like 4 or 5 waves. Forced Overtime does make enemies spawn in faster, but that doesn't mean that they spawn in so fast that I can deal with them inconvenience for Lambent Plume. I hope Lambent Plume takes into account for Jury Summons, but unfortunately it doesn't look like it does. We're not killing things fast enough here, unfortunately. I'm gonna go for the boons here. I mean, even if we don't stack up Lambent Plume incredibly well, it's still pretty good. And here's our first Hermes boon. Can I afford both of these? I think I can. I think I can, yeah. All right, let's go for Mystery Boon first. Or if I take Hermes now, I'm going to take Hermes first.
I'll pay for that.
Rush Delivery already. I mean, I'd be silly not to take Rush Delivery when it's just handed to me on a silver platter for free, right? I wanted to stack dodge chance, but we're already at, what, 65% dodge chance as long as I dodge well? Plus 7% from Lambent Plume. Rush Delivery will also make it so we can stack Lambent Plume more easily because we're killing things faster.
Glad you're still in one piece.
All right, Hunter's Mark. Hunter's Mark. I can't really reliably get Hunter's Mark off. Why? Because my only way of critting is with Special. Could take it just for the sake of having it. It will eventually get pressure points, I would like to think. So I will take Hunter's Mark here, yeah. It's never a wrong boon to take. It's just that I have to temper expectations of it doing much in the immediate short term. Look at you, Tisiphone. You've got our name down so well. I'm so proud of you. Yeah, I think it's overall a DPS down to go and even bother using our special here. Near miss, we got hit there, but near misses matter, man. I really like, honestly, like I don't like Ruthless Reflex that much on basically any situation other than Gilgamesh, where more dashes are Ruthless Reflex feels less of a punishing effect to us. But here, it mattered. It helped. We had a no damage to Tisiphone thanks to it, and that should proc our Lambent Plume then. That was a pretty fast skill. There we go. All right, we're up to almost 9% now. I think we're like 8 point something, 8.4 probably, I think I saw. I'm not even thinking about multiples of 1.2 right now.
Are you suitably warmed up for Asphodel?
Okay, I take back what I said. I'm really thinking about it. Yeah, it's 8.4. 8.4, 84 is a multiple of 12. Okay, what are we going to be selling to get to the next floor? We have not gotten Curse of Nausea yet. We have not gotten Splitting Headache yet. I mean, Hunter's Mark would be the easiest to part with. Of the two, Curse of Vengeance or Splitting Headache would be really useful for us because it guarantees us crits, basically. Everything's going to be hung over, and it'll give us at least a base, I think, 7.5, if not 12.5% chance of crit. Oh, you know what? It's 12.5 if we have the Aphrodite Dionysus duo, so it's 7.5% crit chance, but that's a lot of crit chance for everything. So I'm honestly gonna re-roll once here, I think. See if we can sell Hunter's Mark.
Hey, got anything else?
And we can. Perfect. All right, so let's get rid of Hunter's Mark. As nice as a boon it is under normal circumstances, we don't have the setup to benefit from it enough for me to want to keep it right now. Alrighty. Upwards and onwards. Into Asphodel we go. Asphodel's going to be a little bit trickier just because if we get like a giant Draken room. Actually, I guess we do have Athena's Dash, so that trivializes that. And I guess it's more just if these Slam Dancer type enemies can get off their big close range AoE before I can dodge out of it. Because I don't really have a way of bailing out easily. Although, that said, now that I think about it, with Athena's Dash, I do kind of just reflect it as soon as they drop it, so I'm honestly fine. Yeah, see, like they drop that, but I reflect it instantly. As long as I dash right as they die, I won't get hit. And it may even conveniently trigger Ruthless Reflex for us, so even better. Honestly, my biggest source of damage in Asphodel very well may be me not crossing crossing the lava well. We'll skip the gems here. We don't need them for a 32 heat run. Now, some HP wouldn't be bad here, but I think I'm going to go for the route of coin because there are a lot of boons we still want on this build, and being able to afford them in the mid shop, you don't really notice it until you can't afford it. But a lot of your early game boons, but a lot of your boons overall, from shop purchases. I would really appreciate the witches not camping on lava. I hate when they do that. Honestly, it's so lame. Yeah, the lack of dashes, I definitely feel a little bit here. Need to remember that I already have Rush Delivery despite not having Greater Haste or Hyper Sprint, so there's a very good excuse to want to take Ignited Ichors from the Well of Charon. That's just a free 20% more damage. Yeah. Well, I guess it's 10% because we have the lowest tier. Aphrodite, or Eurydice here. We can't afford anything in the shop yet as far as boons go, so honestly, Eurydice here is not bad. We'll go ahead and probably Refreshing Nectar would be best. Let's see, what can we hit? Rush Delivery would be amazing. Curse of Vengeance is meh. Dash would be meh. Basically, we have 2 boons that if we get a rarity up on would be incredible for our overall DPS. And we have 3 boons that if we hit, we'll be very sad about.
Sing when you're happy. Sing when you're not, Your Royal Majesty.
But I think with that in mind, I'm going to go for it. Let's take it. Ambrosia Delight. We don't take it often enough. And we hit the attack, which honestly I'm happy about. I'm really happy about. And hitting Curse of Vengeance isn't terrible. Curse of Vengeance actually has some pretty substantial base damage on it. It'll probably do like 150 now. All right. Try and reflect these projectiles. Tag them with poison where I can. As long as I have Ruthless Reflex going, I'm not going to take that much damage here. And the sooner we kill the witches, the less damage I'm going to take overall. There we go. Okay, and one more reflect. There we go. I didn't even need to attack the witch, just reflect its damage.
Again sometime, all right?
So here's the thing. If I take Trippy Shot, we can get Blackout, and Blackout would be a ton of extra damage. I'm honestly considering it. Is there any cast I would want more? I could make an argument for Hunting Blades. I don't want Hunting Blades for this run, honestly. Artemis's cast is trash and doesn't enhance anything. Athena's cast is decent. It's got very good base damage, but I'm honestly not that a big fan of Phalanx Shot. So yeah, Trippy Shot setting up for Blackout would be incredible. The odds that we actually get it are fairly low since we're taking God's Pride instead of God's Legacy. So our chances at legendaries and duos are a lot lower. But honestly, Trippy Shot for a melee build is not bad. It makes it very easy to keep enemies stun locked and me to get damage off fairly scot-free. This is a lot of things. Thankfully, I am able to reflect all of their penalty for death. I don't know if I'd call it penalty for death necessarily, but you know what I mean. Like, I reflect the Inferno Bombs that they drop when they die. And then they just kind of die to poison afterwards. Ruthless Reflex is honestly doing a great job here. I'm taking hits here and there, but not terribly so. Alright, you know what? Forced Overtime on the Gauntlet's not as bad as I thought it would be. Cyclops Jerky is not a bad pickup here. 30% more attack damage with Concentrated Knuckle in particular is pretty cool. I'm honestly going to go for this trial. It won't get us any duo boons, but it will remove boons from the pools of these gods whose duo boons we really want. And, I mean, it's more damage, and it gives me something to sell for Underworld's customs. Let's see, who's easier to deal with between Ares and Dionysus? I think Ares is.
Going to have a feast tonight.
Alright, Bad Influence. Deal more damage while 3 or more foes are hungover or afflicted. That's okay. Peer Pressure is objectively terrible. High Tolerance, it's easy to sell. And it's damage reduction for me when I'm meleeing, so I think Bad Influence is really fun, but it's not reliable for me, I feel. High Tolerance I'd probably sell. I'm gonna take High Tolerance. I'm gonna be fighting in Trippy Shot a lot.
An incorrect decision there, my kitten, to side against me thus. Blood needs be shed, and yours is going to suffice.
And again, it's a boon that's very easy to part with, so it'll work.
Ares, forgive me.
I like that I can basically just drop Trippy Shot as enemies are coming out. Because the one downside is, I mean, Trippy Shot is a lob, so it's very hard to reliably hit enemies that are mobile with it, unless you predict where they're going rather than where they currently are, especially with Forced Overtime on, because we did take max level Forced Overtime. That said, it is nice that a lot of enemies want to hit you, and so they'll come rushing at you, so you know what you can do, even if you can't hit the Trippy Shot, you're just depending on its stun effect, you can just entice enemies to come to you. There is apparently one enemy that is just hiding out in the corner. There you are. Oh, 2. A whole bunch of witches, apparently. Let's get rid of the witches first, even if I can reflect their damage, which will help me kill other things faster. I'd rather not have to contend with projectiles if I don't have to. I'm trying to just tag these guys with Hangover where possible, because they'll be taking damage even if I dash away that way. The one downside to Trippy Shot with the way this build works is just the fact that there is a bit of a cast animation for dropping your cast, as it turns out.
The slight against me is already forgotten, for I was more than pleased to witness such a monstrous show of force.
And that can be a little bit of a frustration. Let's see, Impending Doom on Curse of Vengeance, or just flat 10% damage. I think overall Urge to Kill is going to be the better pull here, so we'll take that. And since we're in the area, why don't we take this fish home with us too, if I can catch it.
Bite this.
There we go.
It's a crustacean.
All right. Let's see. Can I get through this while I can? Cool. So we've got Palm, Shop, or Hermes. Ooh. Getting a second Hermes now would be pretty solid. The shop is a free encounter. I don't actually know where we are in terms of encounters. I think that is the end shop. I could be mistaken. I think I'm going to take the free Hermes, honestly. Assuming that it is free. Yes, it is. Okay, this is the end shop. Or this would have been the end shop, which is what I thought.
How goes it underground of late there, boss?
Pretty decent, honestly. This has been a solid build so far. Okay. Okay, so hear me out. I have two extremely tempting options here. I could go 3 extra dashes, which would solve my survivability issue like nothing else. Or I could go hyper sprint and get that juicy 50% universal damage modifier. It's 100% speed for a 50% rush delivery modifier. Realistically speaking, I mean, Ruthless Reflex has been doing great for us. Do I really need an extra 3 dashes? I mean, I realistically do. Okay, I'm thinking about the bull. The bull is going to cost me a Death Defiance if I don't dash more, or I don't hug walls at all times. I think, yeah, I'm taking Greatest Reflex level 3. It's just, it's so good. It's so good. And our damage is pretty solid with what we have right now. So I think this is the pull.
Look at you, Lerny.
Now I have 4 dashes and Ruthless Reflex, which is just mind-bogglingly incredible, because it gives me 50% chance to dodge, and I have Athena's dash, so I reflect projectiles. It means witches will never be relevant again the rest of this run. And even then, I still have rush delivery, and there is a non-zero chance that we see a third Hermes boon in Styx. It's not guaranteed. It's by and large not even close to guaranteed, but like, we have fairly darn solid damage. We get Splitting Headache, we are set. And even if we don't, or Curse of Nausea or Splitting Headache, we get either of those and we have a really good DPS up, but we don't need it. I mean, look at us melting Lerny. Realistically speaking, we're gonna, maybe we'll meet the requirement for Lament Plume. Not if the heads really want to go off into the horizon, but all right, there we go. Come on, and start just wailing on you. Yeah, like, we just don't die. We don't die, and we DPS fairly solid. Okay. I like this. Finally a run where RNG is a little bit more in my favor.
Chatting with you, Lerny, dear.
I haven't even had to drop a Boldy. And I usually have used most of my Boldies getting out of Tartarus here. Nice. Alright, what do we sell? Urge to Kill, not my favorite thing to part with, but I mean, what is my alternative? High Tolerance of the boons to purge. Urge to Kill is probably one of the easiest ones to part with here. It's only 10% damage, and
Could use the extra coin.
a lot of our DPS is coming from our hangover damage anyway. We keep the Lambent Plume for obvious reasons. Light of Ixion? Tempting here. Since we got our Hermes boon, there's a very high chance that we see a hammer in the next chamber. But there's a decent chance we get offered the hammer again. I'm going to take the Light of Ixion because a little bit more base damage on the attack will be genuinely incredible, considering the fact that we have concentrated knuckle. Because again, that's plus 5 damage per hit. Our basic combo string is what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's up to like 25 base damage, which base damage is incredible in Hades. Like, you don't realize how strong it is until you have that plus some good percent boon. So yeah, I think as much as I'd like both that hammer and that Dionysus boon, let's go for the chaos boon here and see if we can land it on the attack. Even the dash strike isn't that bad considering we have 4 dashes now.
You have arrived at last. Just as I wondered how we might best alter one another's courses of existence here today.
All right, Chaos, give me something good. Let's see. Special does 90% more damage from behind, and a cast stone. There are worlds where these are all very incredible, but this is not that world. We're re-rolling.
I'd like to see more options.
All right, cast, attack, or damage from behind. Okay, so our dash has 40% range reduction, but 31% more damage after the fact. Not terrible for us, honestly. It's not like an incredible damage modifier, but that's about as strong as some of the base level common boons that certain gods can offer. It definitely outperforms Poseidon's attack boon, I suppose. Poseidon offers like 30% at base attack, I think, which is not that great. Oh my goodness, that range reduction though. It's gonna feel a little rough against these chariots. At least it's long enough that I can cross the barrier here to kite things. Because if that were not the case, I would have a really rough time against chariots here. Thankfully, I have enough. My attack speed is so high with the gauntlets that I don't have to worry about enemies getting in cheeky little hits. Let's see, an Ares room or a shop. I am making extremely good time, but I'm happy to see any of the 4 gods that we've locked in. Most of all Dionysus, I think, because he has 2 duo boons and a legendary that we're hunting for, none of which we get. Do I reroll here? No, it's a shop. It's gonna be a low tier chance. So we'll take strong drink here, I think. It's a little bit of additive damage percentage. I don't think I need the HP. There's Artemis, so we could get splitting headache from this mini boss chamber. Yeah, I'm gonna save my coin so I can buy more god boons later. Again, the chances of us seeing a legendary or a duo are fairly low.
A worthy challenger returns. Let's see you defeat me again.
Sure thing, Asterius. Here, have some punches. I'm gonna just try and stack up some hangover and then kite him towards this. Okay, unfortunately we do not have a very good answer to dealing with Asterius' spin, but once he finishes, we can damage him pretty well. And I guess Ruthless Reflex could cheese him if we're lucky with RNG dodge chance. Oh gosh. He still hits for 22, so I will probably drop a boldy here, but I'll save it for phase 2 if I can. Oh gosh. I don't know if I dodged that with dash or I dodged that with Ruthless Reflex, but either way I'm happy that I dodged it.
Sisyphus?
Dropping Sisyphus now, and there we go. He's oh, he wasn't charging. He looked like he was charging. I think I am just face-tanking him with dodge chance. This is kind of ridiculous. Oh, well, until he hits twice for 22.
Enough.
Now, who am I kidding? That was crazy. Ruthless Reflex is busted, man. If you time your dashes right, you just don't get touched.
In the name of Hades.
Alright, pressure points, support fire. This is a higher tier Artemis boon. There's a decent chance if I reroll here I get one of her duos, so I'm gonna have to try for it. Let me confirm. I'm pretty sure we are set up for, most importantly, splitting headache. Don't care about hunting blades, can't get it anyway. Deadly reversal we can't get either, so it's literally only splitting headache, but we are set to get it. So let's reroll once and see if we're lucky.
What else we got?
We are not. But Hunter's Mark at rare tier, still without pressure points, not a real reliable way of using it. Artemis's aid, 35% crit chances. It could be really good. Alternatively, Athena's call would make us just able to face tank forever. Dionysus's call would compete with our attack, so that's not that great. And Ares' call I kind of fell out of love with in the last run, so I think it's a reasonable choice, but I think I'll lock in Hunter's Mark here.
Time to hunt.
Again, it's something I can sell in worst case scenario and in best case scenario. Once we get pressure points, we'll make real good use of it.
Good enough to eat.
Those were the sounds of a thinking, Jeff. I'm not gonna reroll here. We'll just toss it on trippy shot. All right, and then more coin. I think as low as our HP is, we make up for it in dodge chance. It's kind of nuts. Hello, chariots that teleport.
Next.
I'm just gonna hug these barriers and let you guys self-destruct. This is probably the best way to deal with chariots. Then you don't have to worry about getting hit. Unless they teleport away, in which case, who knows where they're going and what's going to happen, frankly. Butterfly ball, I'm going to stack up as much poison as I can. Splitters are just made a joke because of Athena's dash. And one butterfly ball to go, and there we go. Easy peasy. Wow. Okay, I'm feeling good here.
From chaos.
And our Chaos Boon has popped, so we now have, what was it, 40% more damage? And we're getting our second hammer. Like, this is what I love most about the gauntlets, is they basically have very few bad hammers. Like, I'm not building around a special build, but the special hammers aren't necessarily bad. There are some that I like more than others, but they're all, like, especially the attack-focused boons, hammer perks, are incredible. The special-focused perks really aren't that bad. So I feel like if I ever do the mod where, like, you can just stack up a ridiculous number of hammers above average of what they normally are, I will probably try it out on the Twin Fists, and I will try it on the Rail. The Rail has some losers for hammers, but it has a lot more winners than not. Like, honestly, let's see. There it is, Breaching Cross. Your dash strike pierces foes and deals 900% damage to armor. I'm starting to lose my voice. I think I've been recording for too long. like I said, these really aren't bad hammer perks. They're just like, I mean, Breach and Crush. You do 10 times damage to armored enemies. And we're getting a Patroclus here. Free chamber saves us time, saves us damage we could take.
Fear for the weak, my friend.
Ah, you're here.
And now I can get...
Become quite the talk of all Elysium of late.
And because I don't have any Death Defiances that I've consumed, I can take Cyclops Jerky. 60% attack damage for the next 10 chambers. Combo that with Concentrated Knuckle and Breaching Cross on anything that's armored. Anything that's armored is just going to die immediately. We're going to take the shop here because we can get a boon. This should be the end shop, I believe. Yes, it is. Okay. Artemis, Splitting Headache? No. Okay. But a 4% crit chance with pressure points is always worth taking, especially now that we have a fairly decent Hunter's Mark. All right, let's see how this hero's fight goes. There's a decent chance I lose a Death Defiance, but I won't lament it too much.
Come forth, blackguard, and be vanquished by my righteous spear.
Oh. Loads Gatling guns. Be vanquished by my righteous spear. I guess maybe if these bullets he's firing are just like, maybe it's like a harpoon launcher. I mean, harpoons are kind of adjacent to spears. Oh, you're dashing. Oops. Well, could have gotten out of that. Oh well. We'll just follow around Theseus for a little bit. Back to Asterius.
You think you have the wherewithal to achieve victory?
I'm gonna drop Boldy here. I know it's gonna miss, but I figured I was gonna need it for HP. Ruthless Reflex, I definitely got hit by Asterius there, so Ruthless Reflex again, just carrying me out of damage. Theseus, while you're passing by, I'll just get a couple cheeky hits on you if you don't mind. There you go, you cheeky tart. I don't think in my entire life I have ever called someone a cheeky tart before, and man is it fun. I should call... Kiwi, when you wake up this morning, I'm gonna call you a cheeky tart when you start getting sassy with me, and you're gonna be so very confused, and I'm just gonna be amused, and it's gonna be great. Like, I feel like if you're not British and you call someone a cheeky tart, they're gonna just be people who just are like, what does that even mean, and how should I feel about what you just called me? Okay, Theseus is kind of bugged, and I'm not sure what his pathing was doing there. I got hit so much because of it. Get in the dash attacks. As long as I time my dashes right, I shouldn't get hit. I got hit. Well, that's kind of insane that was our first Death Defiance this entire run. Not gonna lie, our build is kind of insane. That early Dionysus pull was phenomenal for us. And honestly, all the gods, we just had really good RNG this run. We really did. What is our Lament Plume up to now? I'm curious. Let's see. It is at 20%. So yeah, we are at 50 from Ruthless Reflex, 20 from the Gauntlets, and 15 from the Aspect of Zagreus. So we are at a very comfortable. I can do this. 85% dodge chance, right? 20 plus 15 is 35. Yeah.
I take it, boy.
Oh, and we have strong drink, so we heal back to full. Oh my goodness, our build is busted. Okay, sticking with the Lament Plume until the end of time. We don't really get many more stacks from it, though, admittedly. Yarn of Ariadne. Will probably lock me out of buying a boon later if I take it. Not that I can afford most of the things in sticks with convenience fee active. 80% cost increase is pretty substantial. I really don't want to part with any of these, but I need that reroll for better boons. Honestly, 8% damage from strong drink. I don't know. I mean, Tribby Shot is helping. But honestly, I probably would prefer Splitting Headache, I guess? I don't know, the special is so easy to give up here. But crit damage on our poison would be busted. Busted as heck. I don't know which god's gonna show up. I think I'm gonna let go of Tribby Shot. It's a lot of coin. It can potentially set us up for something really fun in the next chamber. I am not gonna take Yarn of Ariadne though. We have God's Pride to carry our boon rarity. And I'd rather save my coin because with my current coin, I might be able to afford a really nice, more than an extra boon that I wouldn't have been able to afford otherwise. So that's my thought process. Is it correct? Probably not. But does it really matter? Probably not. At this point, I'm going into Hades feeling extremely confident. Would love to see Artemis and would love to see... okay, so no Dionysus. We do see Artemis. So we still have a chance at Splitting Headache. I'll go that route first. As far as the boons in the shop go, pretty much the only thing I care about is either stacking up enough to buy that Hermes boon, which I honestly may do extra chambers of sticks. We're making phenomenal time. We have 14 minutes on the clock, and we do not have extreme measures 4 to contend with. So as long as I have more than 5 minutes, and even that's probably like a gross overestimate of what I need, I should have more than enough time. So I will take extra chambers of sticks here to afford that Hermes boon, frankly. What do I want from it? We took hyper sprint, right? No, we didn't. So hyper sprint or greater haste, or we just stack up all our dodge chance and say, well, Hades, you can't touch me. I'm just gonna stand in your face, punch you to death, and we're gonna have a good old laugh about it back at the house once you die.
Not yet.
But this is why, like, I don't know why, like, on paper, the twin fists are a melee weapon, right? And I am terrible at the other, like, close range melee weapon, being the sword. I think it's just the gauntlets attack so quickly that it doesn't feel like I'm punished for playing the way I like to play. Whereas the sword, I just can never position or time my attacks correctly and get away with what I try to get away with that I can with the gauntlets. Granted, I'm only able to say this because I have so much dodge chance, but still. True shots support fire clean kill. We reroll once here and hope for splitting headache.
What else is there?
We don't get it. Support fire, though, is kind of funny here. Not gonna lie, support fire is pretty funny because we're gonna be firing off those arrows really quickly. They do no damage, but they look pretty, and that's good enough of a reason for me, right?
Going back.
Worst case scenario, I guess I could sell it if I see a pool purging. We're almost at the point of being able to afford that Hermes boon, but we're gonna need a couple extra chambers. A fair few number extra chambers. We'll take Athena next. Well, wow, they gave me a whole lot of gold pots there. That was 75 coin in one room, not including the coin from enemies that I've killed now. That was a really nice chamber for money. Thank you, game. Oh wow, what is this chamber's RNG? We just got 2 more gold pots. Like, we are where? Okay. I'm like, why is the chamber not cleared? There was a rat, but it was hiding under the guillotine, so I couldn't see it. That's kind of lame. My goodness, enemies are just not allowed to have armor anymore. It's kind of fun. It's busted. What have we got here? Kiss of Sticks. We're about to see an Athena chamber. We're just as likely to get a free Death Defiance from her there as to anything else. Honestly, though, Blinding Flash wouldn't be bad at making enemies exposed and me trying to learn to position correctly to deal with their with back attacks in this instance. Not a bad idea. So we'll see. We'll see what Athena offers. I don't have rerolls, so I take what I get offered. Holy Shield, not a bad option either. We're not building around Vengeance Spoons, but this sure does keep you alive a bit longer. Let's see. Blinding Flash or Brilliant Riposte. I mean, this is a lot of damage, but I'm not going to be using it that much, so we'll take Blinding Flash. Your abilities that can deflect make foes exposed and take 63% more back attack damage. We're going to be dashing across enemies all the time, so that's basically going to be active at all times. We need at least 1 more chamber, probably 2 chambers, actually. I think... Let me take the palm first. Maybe I can get that on our attack, because we haven't had many palms on the attack. We're only at level 3, and Dionysus is one of those weird gods where every level, like, we don't really get diminishing returns so much on Dionysus boons, specifically Hangover, because the stat-ups on them already are pretty low. You need a lot of levels to see Dionysus boons really scale. That's why, like, I mean, we've proven that Dionysus is doing really good damage, but a lot of Dionysus's damage with Hangover comes from his duos rather than his, rather than levels. Because Ares makes you deal 30% more damage. Aphrodite makes you deal, like, 60% more damage. Oh, good. If ever there were a run to have really bad Styx RNG, this would be the run, and it's pretty nice that it is. Unfortunately, I took a lot of damage there, I think. Wow, I'm just noticing, this is probably the lowest HP I've ever had in a 32 heat run, aside from a Guan Yu run, where, I mean, that's kind of the nature of the weapon. You just have half the HP you would have otherwise. I'm not complaining, like, we're fine. We are so darn fine. But still, like, it's kind of crazy that we are as fine as we are. I don't know if traps follow the rules about near misses, so I better be careful around these traps. If a stray rodent or enemy just wanders onto a trap pad, I'm gonna take a lot of damage. All right, let's see what we palm. Awesome, we got it on the attack. So we are at, let's see, we were 10 times 2 is 20, 20 times 5 is Oh my goodness, 100. So we're at 110 HP, 110 damage per second now. Cool. Yeah, I definitely don't put this on anything else here. The attack is lovely. Thank you very much, game.
Get me out of here.
All right, so we're up to a 4-chamber 6. I don't mind. All right, let's go get that Hermes boon and see what we get here.
Should come in useful.
Had news. I mean, actually very good news. Or I take the greater evasion for the meme. I mean, if I take greater evasion, I do get, what is it? Like what we said, we're 15 plus 25, so that's 40, and then 50 from Ruthless Reflex. We are at 90% dodge chance. I take greater evasion, I'm at 100% dodge chance, assuming that's how it adds up. Like, objectively speaking, bad news is a phenomenal boon because it's a universal 50% damage up. It does not do what it says, it is bugged. That would be amazing. But I'm here for the memes, and I feel very safe on this run, so we're doing it. Okay, can we at least see Curse of Nausea before we end the run? My bet is probably not, but the dream is still alive for a brief moment. Oh my goodness, that is one tanky vermin. I have a lot of Sisyphuses still, so I'll kind of spam drop them in the next couple chambers, because we sold Strong Drink, didn't we? I'm pretty sure we did. So yeah, let's drop some Sisyphuses here and try and heal up a little bit before I just get melted by my own mistakes. Don't mind me, Snakestone. I just wanted to collect my goods before I attacked you again. Alright, this is a terrible room to waste a Sisyphus in, but I'm gonna let it go. Because we, again, stacking up the HP here, it'll make sure that we end assuming this is our final chamber of Styx, because it's only a 2% chance to get a 5-chamber Styx. The odds are very much in our favor here of getting Ares in this room, and the Satyr Sack, yep, there we go.
Satyrs here.
Curse of Nausea, Curse of Nausea, Curse of Nausea, nope. Oh well. I don't really feel like I'm gonna use Blood Frenzy, but the damage up is more fun than we'll take it. It doesn't matter. It literally doesn't matter. I can't afford anything else in the shop, unfortunately. Oh, we didn't get rid of Strong Drink. What did I let go of? I don't even remember. Do I try and save up for that last Ares boon? There's a decent chance I could. We're still making great time. Let's do it. Let's take this extra HP. I don't mind. I probably should have sat on Sisyphus for that reason, but it's not a big deal. Alright. I'm definitely feeling a little bit of a fall off on our damage, but it's fine. I don't mind that much. And we have a pool of purging here, so I could potentially sell something to guarantee that we have enough coin to afford a boon in the shop. We'll see what's on offer. Probably won't take it.
Can wash away my boons.
Yeah, ooh, high tolerance. I mean, we don't have Tribute Shot anymore, so there's no point in keeping this. Sure, I'll sell that. All right, realistically speaking, we're not going to be able to afford 2 things in the shop even after having sold that, though, sadly. But it guarantees we can afford 1. Just got to keep my eye out for any gold pots that are on the floor. I see one in the upper left corner right now, so we'll pick that up once I know this room is a little bit safer. I am lucky that trap didn't hit me. I think it broke on my dash. I will say the one downside to support fire is it can eat your hunter's mark, and you don't want to crit for have a 12 crit, you know? This though, all right, let's think. There was an Ares and I think there was an Athena. Those were both worth 270. I am not going to have 540 coin by the end of this, but if I buy this Nail of Talos, nah, it's not worth it. We already do so much damage to armor. There's no point in taking that. Okay, maybe I made an argument with this guy's armor. I don't know. I am timing my dashes very specifically to reflect their projectiles, is what I'd like to say, but I'm just kind of trash at that, so I'm thinking sort of about it, but mostly just dashing at them and they're timing their attacks to hit my dash more specifically. I think that's really the reality of it, is that they are timing their attacks well to get reflected. The fun thing about Hunter's Mark that I've discovered is it may kind of just make poison crits persist. It's a little bit silly and very much busted. I don't know for certain about that, but I've certainly seen some weird interactions where Hunter's Mark gets cleared by poison, but the poison still keeps critting with no other reason to crit. We were so close.
Something I can use. Don't spend it all.
All right, Impending Doom. Sure, I guess we'll take Impending Doom. That'll make our damage a little bit higher on that
Joyfully, the
Vengeance
Hound of
boon.
Hell accepts another Satyr Sack.
All right, Kiwi, we are going to at least use one Death Defiance to go full monkey on this god. We are going to just stay in his face. I'm going to conserve dashes and time it with his attacks, which is a little hard for me because of forced overtime. But let's see how this goes. Let's see if I can just get away with 100%. We have 105% roughly crit dodge chance right now, I think. So, you know, just doing aspect of Zagreus Hermes things, the funnest way to do things.
You would attack me with the savagery of the twin fists. Then come.
Call me Punch Boy, Dad. I'ma punch ya. Oh my goodness, Kiwi. That voice never gets old for me, honestly. It's one of my favorite voices because I can do it so reliably. And it's just like, it's my goober voice. It's my goofball, don't take me seriously kind of voice. Alright. Dodged. Just gonna keep punching him. I guess I'll punch his friends for a little bit since they're gonna be annoying. Thankfully, he's spawning things that are only threatening because they have armor. Or the numbskulls are only annoying because they have armor, but I just immediately delete their armor, so it didn't matter. Hades can't touch us. Hades can't touch us. Turns out if I just wait for him to attack, it's fairly forgiving. I am being a little conservative with my dashes, but maybe I don't even need to be, honestly. Look at this. Can I, well, I was about to say, can I take no further damage for the rest of the run? The answer is no. Gesundheit, Kiwi, I heard you sneeze in the background. We're making pretty good time for Lambent Plume, too. Oh my goodness, if he tosses out lasers, we are going to be so cheeky for this poor god. But he's tossing out pots.
Come on.
Like, I have so many dashes, it doesn't matter what I do. I just have to, like, take some time in between dashes and it's fine. Oh, poor guy. I almost feel bad for him. He's gonna laser, and I'm just gonna stand here, and we're gonna punch. Dodge, 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 dodge. He's going for lasers again, but it literally doesn't matter. The poor god just doesn't stand a chance. Okay, well, okay. Maybe if I dash directly into the lasers. but there we go. Finish with Curse of Vengeance and Pending Doom combo. Why not?
I'm not as limber as I used to be, while you...
We're you know what? Actually, I think this may be a custom dialogue that Hades has when you have stacked dodge chance. There's something that he says, I think, when you have a ridiculous amount of dodge chance. Because the devs knew you could do this.
No.
But okay, you know what? It's been a while. We've had, what a lovely 32 heat run. That was so forgiving.
By my father's name.
Okay, let's go ahead and see what we're honoring. Of course, we need to honor our aspect weapon just for keeping track of our progress. So aspect of Zagreus. I do want to honor Drunken Dash because that was so funny. Like, I mean, it's a heroic 11 damage per half second sort of boon. And then let's see, what else do we honor? I think we just honor all the dodge chance after that point. So Lambent Plume gave us 25%. We got 15% with aspect of Zagreus. We got the rare instant rush delivery, which was pretty funny. I'll probably honor that, but let's see. Greater evasion, we definitely need to honor. Keep in mind, we took this really kind of underwhelming boon in lieu of a 50% universal damage up. Objectively a terrible decision, and yet here we are, and it's funny, and that's what matters. Okay, Concentrated Knuckle honestly did so much damage for us. Honestly, I think I'm gonna do that. Nah, I think I have to honor Rush Delivery. It's just so good. All right, 128 win streak. I think this was run 13 or 14 out of 24 on the 32 heat all aspects challenge. We're making very good progress.
After defeating his lord father yet again, Prince Zagreus begins to shiver and catch cold. And, as is well known, there sadly is no cure for such a thing.
No, no!
Well, this was a very good way to start the day. The last run was a bit of a struggle, and again, mind you, I'm on like 4 hours of sleep, so I'm barely functional, but I didn't have to function very well for a run where I just don't take damage.
Showed you that time, Father.
Welcome to the House of Hades, and thanks for dying.
You're welcome, Hypno. See you later, bestie. I hope we get to hear Hypno's call us bestie at least once.
To teach you, lad.
Although I think we've exhausted almost all of his dialogue with Zagreus.
Don't get so worried.
worried for you, Zagreus.
Like, I don't remember if he's ever used the term bestie,
Look who it is.
but it does feel like something that Hypnos would say.
Our security efforts in Asphodel are evidently lacking.
Among your other regions, too, I would say.
Cerberus looks mournfully toward the prince.
Hypnos just radiates good boy energy.
Yeah, boy. Just as long as one of your three heads enjoys these pets.
Just like Cerberus, who is also definitely a good boy. He is best boy Cerberus.
I pray the fates will fill your dreams as they did mine.
Bye for now.
I shall be watching over you and our house alike.
That is the peak commentary you come for. Character says something and Jeff goes, I don't think I need more ambrosia.
Cerberus in the spotlight.
See, told you, he is best boy, unquestionably so. Number one bestest boy of them all.
Those shades are always milling about.
Who exactly is the supervisor around here? This is ridiculous. Cause of death, blood pressure. Sounds like someone's a little too angry too often. We must be close to clearing this, but I still haven't had any new dialogue pops. Let's play it one more time. Okay.
There.
Oh, you know what? Before we call it a night, let me make sure I don't forget to turn off Ruthless Reflex. Oh, you know what? I just realized we are officially done with the gauntlets, or the Twin Fists. So the next time I am offered the Twin Fist with the Dark Thirst, I get dealer's choice. I get to choose which aspect weapon I take and which weapon I take. But we've got a bow run coming up. I think we have Chiron and we have Hera left. I'll save Hera for last. Hera's so good, and Chiron honestly isn't much worse.
Sure could use a good smack in the jaw from you right about now.
But I have an idea for how I want to play Chiron, if we can get it to work. So with all that said, Kiwi, I hope you've enjoyed watching, and if you're awake, I hope this is helping you fall asleep. If you're sleeping, I hope you're sleeping well. I love you, and in the next one, more Hades 1 fun. Look forward to the chaos I'm about to sow. Sleep well, love.